Harry, good morning. Good morning,
All
America.
right,
What's up?
all right, Camilo. Well, I always like to start saying "Welcome to the United States of America" because that's the job that we do. We welcome people through the visas of talent, love, and money. That's what we like to call it.
Listen, I love it. Love, talent, and money. That's what Logica does. We are immigration attorneys. We're located in Miami, Florida, where we have three offices, close to 60 people, basically helping investors and helping employers and families,
Correct.
right? I
Yes.
mean, that's what we've done during the last 13, 14 years working at Logica. So, Harry, what's happening? Lots of news,
Yeah.
people, there is fear. Um, But I believe at Logica, we see this as an opportunity. So tell us, what is
Uh,
this opportunity?
all right. Well, certainly it has been now 10 days since President Trump took the White House again, and he has made already steps towards organizing immigration. And some of these steps actually will not yet affect, and may not affect at all, companies that are hiring people with advanced education. So far, we have seen that in regards to the H-1B system, which a lot of companies use to hire engineers from local universities, that seems to be unscathed. And in fact, there is support from people like Elon Musk saying that we need the H-1B system. It's what's going to make America great by maintaining the best and the brightest people in the United States working for us. Um, Also, in regard to visas like the permanent labor certification, which helps these H-1B holders move on to permanent residency. We don't see any changes there yet, and I don't think there'll be much changes. Maybe there'll be improvements later on. So I'd say that if you are a CEO or an HR manager in the United States, so long as you are hiring people with bachelor's degrees or advanced education that studied in the country in the United States, you probably are well positioned to advance your company without any repercussion in the immigration system.
Harry, there is also an opportunity in H-2A visas and H-2Bs.
That's
And
correct.
these people, not necessarily they do have a bachelor's degree, but at the same time, US employer and big ones, big, huge companies actually take advantage of this program that us as US citizens, Americans, we don't want to do those jobs.
That's right.
But there is an opportunity. So explain a bit about the H2A, H2B, because I think it's very important.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. The H-1Bs, as I mentioned, are for people with advanced education. The H-2B and the H-2A are for essentially workers who are going to be doing the heavy lifting. H-2B is ideal for people who are going to be working in construction, or they'll be working on temporary jobs based on certain seasons. That still remains a viable way for immigrant workers to come in the United States for a short period and then go back. American companies use them often. For example, if you are a ski lift company and you need people to come in who know how to teach and work these type of jobs, you can bring them in for the season, for the ski season, essentially for the winter. That will continue the same. If you need to hire a certain number of construction workers for the hurricane season that affects the South of the United States, you can bring them seasonally for that. That will not change. In fact, we already know that President Trump spoke positively about the H-2B and indicated that he has used the H-2B system for his own companies and sees it as a positive thing. So certainly, if you are a company that needs a lot of workers, the H-2B system continues a viable path for you.
I agree. I think many people are confused, and many people actually have feared that, oh my God, basically, I cannot come to the States. I cannot come to America.
Right.
I think it's the opposite. I mean, I think what Trump and this administration is saying, if you want to come, do it legally, do it with the
Right.
right paperwork, with the right visa. And if you do that, hey, come here, welcome. We want your money.
For
We
sure.
want your talent. We want your skills, but do it right. What we don't want is basically just people randomly applying for asylum or applying for some sort of benefits that they do not qualify, and they know that. No, we actually want the opposite. We want high talented people, skilled workers. Those are like those. I think including all these people make America great again as well. It's
Right.
part of the whole thing.
It's part of the whole
But
thing.
we need like
And,
Definitely.
and,
So
and
now, Harry,
what's interesting there about the H-2B, H-2A, H-1B is that these are petitions that are completely controlled by the American company. They're not controlled by the individual, like in the case of asylum. Okay, so that's why you don't hear negative things or very little about it. H-1B, H-2B, H-2A is completely controlled by the HR department of that company. So, as an HR manager or a CEO, you're the one who's controlling who's coming out, and we can help you make sure that you're doing everything properly, so you can continue inviting these workers to come in every season as you need them.
I agree with you. So now let's change the subject a bit. I'm a CEO, CFO of a company called CHO, and I employ people with a TPS
Uh-huh.
that they actually have a work permit. And people say like TPS, what is a TPS? And what are the news as to the TPS? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah. So temporary protective status is a system that's been around since the 1990s that was given initially to Salvadorians who were fleeing essentially a communist regime. And it has been expanded to allow up to 17 countries. The most recent news is that TPS, temporary protective status, will not be extended for Venezuelans. That means that if you have a Venezuelan worker on temporary protective status, it's likely that they will lose their right to work after September of this year, unless there's some other change in the meantime. So that person may have other things that allow them to work lawfully, like he or she may have asylum and they may have the right to work. So make sure that they're at least their asylum case, that through their asylum case, that they have the employment authorization documents and that they have their TPS employment authorization document updated. We'll inform you as things change and as things, we're not sure if things are going to get worse or better, but likely TPS will be eliminated, not just for Venezuela, but I think for the next countries as well. Haiti, we don't know what other countries, but the United States does, or the president has the right to eliminate the countries that he decides. So American workers do need to prepare that if you have a workforce that's TPS based, or that you may need to start looking at ways to continue your business if they're not available at the end of this year in September.
I agree 100% with you.
Yeah.
So basically, obviously, there is always the opportunity to change status from TPS to another immigration benefit. The most important part is if you are a director, if you're a CFO, COO, CEO, if you hire foreign nationals, there is always an opportunity to bring these talented people with the right visa, and that's the most important part. Harry, thank you a lot for your time. We've been, we're gonna be creating more videos. We're
Yeah.
gonna be delivering more information as to immigration and different immigration news. I think every single day, at least for this first quarter of 2025, we're gonna be hearing a lot from Trump.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be hearing a lot, and you'll be hearing a lot from us too as we essentially explain what is happening and differentiate to what affects you versus what affects other folks. And we'll help give that clarity here.
Listen, on another note, and just to finish the video, this week I actually had like 3, 4 webinars and conferences with big employers. Actually, they do lots of EB3s, H2Bs, EB3s and H2Bs, and they want to do H1Bs. But the EB3 is one of those is the permanent, and people don't know about it, and that's how we have beneficiaries, which is employees can actually go and get the green card,
Right.
and many U.S. companies actually benefit from this. So just to end the video, what is
Yeah.
an EB3? Why that's so important for the US?
All right. So EB3 means employment based category number three. And there's five categories, but essentially all categories lead to permanent residency through employment in the United States. And what we're indicating under EB3 is that there is a skilled worker or maybe a worker with lesser skills that is needed to work for this company because that company is unable to find people with that skill set or willing to take that job. It is something that takes several years, maybe 3 years or more, to obtain permanent residency for this worker. So, if an employer can see the future as to what the needs are, they can start applying for this today and make sure that they have the workforce that will support them over the next decade. So, come talk to us about EB3. An excellent way not only to provide permanent residency and a permanent life in the United States for these foreign workers, but also for your company to ensure that you have the workforce that will give you the longevity that you need.
That's right. I'm actually working. I will say I'm on 5 to 7 corporate accounts, more than 200 employees each account. And the idea is that these companies are projecting employees in in the manufacturing, at least within the next 5 years. So they're like anticipating what's going to happen, and that's what big, huge companies do. And that's a big opportunity for the company.
Yeah,
Now it's an opportunity as well to bring talented people as well, and
right.
people who actually are going to be loyal with you. People are going to be with you for the next 3 5 years, and that's really really important. One of the things that I was talking with a bunch of CEOs was that at least in the manufacturing industry, the the turnover of employees is insane. Like basically 3 6 8 weeks and they're gone.
They're done, right?
This doesn't happen with EP3. This doesn't happen with H2A. It doesn't happen with H2B. You're going to have loyal people who actually going to be working for you. All right.
Yep.
Harry, thanks a
All right.
lot, man. See you
All
next
right.
video.
All right, Camille. We'll see you next one.